And there we go, the roof's off, or the front section. So much history in this this van. Stickers from Morocco. This chain here is what I had on to keep the boxes, storage boxes safe on many a trip that we did. But all that is now about to come off. There's been previous holes drilled that need to be getting rid of. There's also a hole around here where I put a branch through the side of the roof when Russell and I were doing Strata Florida, the notorious Welsh Green Line. But get started on this section here at least, because ironically I'm going back to Morocco next weekend. I'm going to be there for 2 weeks, so what I'd like to do is kind of get this roof prepped. I might be a bit optimistic getting a coat of paint on it, but at least if I did, I can then leave it to dry for 2 weeks while I'm away and then carry on when I get back. Hi, good morning. Well, yesterday afternoon and last evening, Saturday morning now, made a start on the Westie. It's not going to be the huge job that I thought it was going to be painting this van, I think. I'll explain why. I don't think it's going to be too bad, and actually a little rethink that I've had at the minute. I was always considering painting the fiberglass roof, the back part and the front part, with a roller, with like some kind of coach paint, enamel kind of stuff that you can get. That's because I wanted to really do it inside, and because we haven't got a spray booth and all that work stuff's in there, I don't really want to be spraying inside because it's just going to make a right mess. So I thought what I was going to do is do the roof inside one evening, because I can do that, you know, it'll be really easy. And then I was just going to drive it out, the van, and then do like paintwork in sections. So I've ordered the paint for the roof just to check the match of the colour, and just to check how it goes on with the roller. And then last night I started taking all the decals off and stuff, and then I T-cutted the doors, because if you look watching our previous videos, I was really worried about losing the character of the van, and I didn't want it coming back like completely all resprayed and it looking brand new and it not looking like the same anymore. And I know it's probably going to be more work doing it, so I'm saving old bits of paintwork and stuff, and it sounds stupid to a lot of you, but there's a lot of history in this van. And it made me quite sad taking off all the stickers of like camels and the Arctic Circle reindeer sticker off the roof, and all the other little bits and pieces yesterday. And every time I'm pulling these things off, I'm like, oh no, the character of the van's going. So that's why I'm going to a bit of a, might be a stupid length of time and effort just to keep little patches of paintwork, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you for a little walk around of the van after I've assessed what I think's going on, but just also showing what a good job Russel's done, because I was expecting to go around and have to fill loads of places, you know, where panels meet and stuff like that, but there's hardly anything that needs doing. Having rubbed down the front, there's a tiny little bit there because there's a little dent in this panel that was put in, and just a tiny little bit of filler there, a minimal. As we get to the side door, this arch has been done, and again there's just no filling or anything needs doing there because he's done such a good job. And then inside the door, there's no filling needed, none at all. This side panel here, there's nothing again needs doing along any of that or that. There's a little teeny bit needs just doing along this edge, but again hardly anything. And then where this is a Volkswagen panel, this one costs like £800 or something. It's well expensive, but the only filling that needs doing, if you can look, there's just some tiny little marks there. Need a teeny bit, maybe not even filling, maybe just sanding down, who knows, but, and again just a teeny bit there. Nothing down there, nothing along there. At this part here, there's where it's been welded against there. It may need a little bit along, oh, it's a teeny little pinprick there. Again, nothing, teeny bit there. And then the back door, I spray painted this with a rattle can years ago, so I'm going to take that off and do that because I didn't make a very good job of that, to be honest. And then the roof I've already rubbed down, and that's going to be rolled. And then here's the other bit. So this side here with the filler cap, again, hardly anything. Probably not even anything, probably just a rub down. Nothing down there, nothing down there. Again, nothing there. And then what I've done, the cover for the door, I just put that on last night. So that looks like it needs loads of paint and stuff when you do that. But when you put this back on, like, and you actually break it down, it's just that bit, the bit around the bottom of the window needs doing. So it's actually not a lot of paintwork. There's a little tiny bit there where it's been welded, not much. And then I've T-cutted all this door. It's come up great, original paint, or original to when I got the van. And again, I gave that a clean up. So it's not a lot of work really. Roof came off, that needs painting underneath there, but no one's ever going to see that, so I don't have to do a great job of that. And all the front needs painting. But again, I think if I leave that till last, I will have got the hang of it by then, or a bit more of a hang of it. And again, this arch here, there's just no filling needed at all. Oh, that's good. Again, no filling needed. That B pillar there, just can't see where that needs any work. Yeah, he's done a really good job. Well, next step is I'm going to spend today, it's Saturday, just having another little rub down, go around the van. Might even be able to do it today. Do the bits of filling that need doing, which again, it's just not a lot of filling at all. And then I've ordered the paint for the roof, and I'm going to get that on when that arrives this week or next week, because I'm away next week for 2 weeks on a trip. and I'll see how that goes on, and then just look at maybe even just roller in it, because the back part here, you'll see I've got some decal design that I want to do, so all that's going to be covered up. And then I'm going to put the Terrawagon arches on, so all that's going to be covered up. Joker decals are going back on that we make, not the horrible ones that just were all cracked and rubbish after a short while. That's one of the reasons why we set up the decal business, because we thought we could do a better job of those than we can. Yeah, so that's where I'm at the minute. So I'm going to crack on. Right, that's everything had a rub down. So what I'm going to do, everywhere I'm reading and everyone I'm speaking to is saying use this epoxy primer. You're going to mix it 2 to 1. So I'm not sure if you need to do it on fiberglass, but I think I'm going to just try it on the fiberglass roof just to seal it all, and then see how that goes with a roller. And then I might just roller it on the metal work, because I'm going to be giving it a coat of well, a good few coats of like normal 2-part primer as well, that you sand back. You don't sand this back apparently, so it's just to seal it all and to make sure the rust doesn't come through. But everywhere I'm reading and everyone's telling me you got to use this stuff, so that's what I'm going to do, because you know, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a painter of vans, but I'll give it a try. Hopefully you might get something out of this. Well, yeah, just use this bottle to mix it up with. I'm gonna brought everything inside. Well, I'm gonna bring everything inside. It went a bit cloudy there for a while, so it looks like it may rain a little bit. So just to be safe, I'm gonna do this in here. Well, last Saturday went pretty well. I managed to get everything rubbed down and then in etch primer. Pretty good stuff actually, that gear, it covered pretty well with the roller. One thing I did forget is when you buy these rollers, it usually comes with a spongy roller and kind of a more fluffy roller like that one. Now these, I forgot all about it because I did actually paint the Manigan cab with a roller and it turned out pretty well. That was matte paint, so it was easy to cover, pretty forgiving. This is going to be a more glossy paint, so we'll see. But these foam rubber roller ends that you think are going to give the finer finish, they actually start disintegrating with the additive that goes in two-part paints and primers. So I forgot all about that. So don't use them, don't be tempted because it's going to fail. Now I went into B&Q's or Walmart, as you have in the States, I guess, if you're watching from over there. They did this like super fine roller. It's like a tampon. So the other one was pretty like an emulsion roller. This is a finer one, so I'm going to try to do that. So the paint's on its way now for delivery. It's an enamel paint, a coach paint it is, so it's made for rollering and brushing. I'm going to do the roof of it, see how I get on, and if it's turns out pretty well, then I'm going to probably look at maybe rollering the whole thing. Actually, I'll have a see. Going to Morocco on Saturday, so I can't waste too much time. And tomorrow I've got a roof canvas fitting for Westfalia for a customer, so that only leaves a couple of hours today. Still got to get loads of orders out from last night on the web shop. So I'm just trying to fit this in as I go. Well, I'm just waiting for that paint to arrive. I'm going to rub down this back panel, give that a coat of the 2-part high build primer. Actually, I'll show you which one it is. It's this stuff I'm using for the primer. the high build. And then I'm going to give the front another coat of primer, and then when that's sort of done, the paint should be here, then I can just do the roof. Then I'll denib the front of the roof as well, get that ready in time. Right then, paint has arrived. This colour that I'm matching is the one to the doors, and it's not an original T25 colour. I think it's Arctic White. I think it's from a Polo or a T4 or something. I think it is. I can't really remember, but I'm going to do the roof this colour anyway, and then that will give me see if it matches all right. Last hour basically of the day, so I'm going to try and get this front bit done of the roof, jump up there, do the roof, and then I'll see what we're doing for time, and then I might look at doing a couple of these panels as well. So here we are, VW Arctic White L902. Kind of looks promising. Who knows until it's on. But you don't need any hardener or anything with this enamel paint. That's why I want to get it on and leave it for a couple of weeks while I'm away in Morocco and see what it's like when I come back. Got to say, these rollers are excellent. The new ones that I picked up when I used them before. Gives a really nice flat finish when you put it on. Let's see how we go with this one. Right, here we go. Well, front roof is done. I've actually just done that little bit there, just to see what the colour match is like against that door, and just see how that'll look on metal. Up there's done, and also I thought this is going to be under a lot of stickers and stuff, so I've just thought I'd just give that a little coat just to see how that dries tomorrow. Hopefully it'll dry pretty good, and I might then look at rollering the whole thing. If not, I'll just sand it all back and spray it. I've got a compressor over there, so I've got spraying stuff. I just don't want the mess in here, but needs must. Well, now we're the morning after that little tester. The roof's turned out pretty well. The tester bit I did here and at the front, it's just really glossy. I'm not used to seeing it that shiny. It looks alright. I did give a little bit of it a rub down there, just to see what it'd be like if it was flattened off and another coat applied possibly. So I think that's what I'll do before I make sure 100%. But I'm going to stick with it on the roof, give that another coat, give the front of the roof another coat that's over there, and then I'm going to give this another rub down, and then another coat, and then I'm going to leave it while I'm away, and then let me come back with like a fresh perspective on it and see what I feel before I decide to spray it or roller it. Right, okay, it's now Tuesday. Having done all that work Saturday, a little bit, actually no, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday. Having had a play yesterday, gave the front another coat, gave the side its third coat of the enamel roller paint, coach paint. I needed to get to a point where I was happy, because as you know, or as I've mentioned, I'm heading out on Saturday to Morocco for 2 weeks, so I just want to feel rest assured and happy with the process of how I'm going to paint this when I get back, because once I've worked out what works, it's just a case of repeating the process, because I've worked it out what I'm happy with. So it's just working out at this point of what exactly I'm going to do, and once I've worked out the process, I can just look at, you know, a front corner, do that in an hour over a day, and then the next day I'll do the next, because with running this place I can't just take whole days off just to mess around with the van at the minute. But I've worked it out now, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. What I wasn't happy with is how mega glossy and shiny this paint is, this roller-on stuff, coach paint. So what I've done, hopefully the camera will pick this up, I've put the tape down there, and I found that after the coats of paint that I put on, if you just get a Scotch pad and rub the bit we're keeping, pretty lightly, it kind of dulls it down, the paint, and I don't want it glossy. I want it to look like a van that's not just been painted. Oh, it sounds weird, but that's the way it is, I'm afraid. So yeah, so once that's been rubbed down, just as a comparison, doesn't need a lot, and I pull the tape off. See how that picks up on the camera. So I don't know if you can see it. You can see the line there, and that's considerably less glossy, and it looks more like a van that's, you know, made in 1980s, that's been looked after, rather than a van that's just been redone and painted in this decade. And maybe you can see on the back rear panel where this hasn't been touched after its 3 coats, and then just this part here is where I've flattened it back with the Scotch pad, and you can see it's taken the edge off the sheen. Now when you look at the old paintwork to the new paintwork, it's a good match. Because I've rubbed this down now, this is just slightly duller than the original, but then I've found when I've T-cutted a spot afterwards, it's actually a really good match then, so that's what I need to do. Well, now I'm happy with that, and I've worked out the method I'm going to use. I can go away and get sorted now, and just while I'm away, not keep thinking about how this is going to turn out. So the method is just a rundown of the procedure of what's going to happen, how I'm going to attack this after this few days of testing, if you like. It's a rub down and a coat of epoxy primer, then let that set. Then it's 2 coats of the 2-pack high build primer, roll it on, and then after that it's a coat of the coach paint, the enamel coach paint, and then it has a rub down with the Scotch pad again, and then it has a further 2 coats of enamel coach paint as well, and then once that's dried, it then has a rub over with the Scotch pad, and then after that, when it's really hard and dry, after a week or 2 I reckon, I'm going to look at T-cutting the whole lot to bring it back to the original paint finish, and that is the method I've worked out. I'm not a professional. Please don't try this if you're going to rely on my video to paint your own van. This is just how I've worked it out myself, without any watching any tutorials or any of that stuff, just through common sense really. So we'll just say this video's for entertainment purposes only, shall we? Well, I've rubbed the roof down
Again, it's taken that super shine off it. Still plenty shiny, but it's just dulled it slightly. I've done that around the outside, because what I found on the inside here, when obviously the years I've used the van, and the stuff you throw up there, especially metal stuff, it starts to rust, leave rust marks inside the roof tray. So I'm going to be masking that off when I get back, next stage of painting, and I'm going to be using like a bed liner in there, Raptor most likely. We use U-Pole Raptor quite a bit. Actually, we painted this yellow van in it a while back. Some pretty decent results. We're not going to make out we're in some collaboration with Raptor UK or U-Pole, because they don't need us to function. We do sell the products on the website, and anyone with a van, we seem to be the people that people come to buy Raptor for vans and what have you. But like I said, we don't collaborate with them. We sell their stuff. I'm not sure the definition of collaboration, but ultimately they've got a decent thing that they sell, and people are happy to come to us and buy it, and that's how business works, I guess. Well, I think that's going to have to do now for this phase of the painting process. But now I'm certain of what I'm going to do, and I can almost go around and give a good estimate of how much time it's going to take me to do it. But again, because the bodywork's so good, or the metal work that Russel's done, he's made this job way more easier. If you're going to try and save a bit of money yourself, I guess you're better spending money on the person who's doing the bodywork, the metal work properly, and then you can make your painting much more easier, rather than get someone to lash up the bodywork and then spend time on filler and painting over rust. And let's be honest, people who do that, especially around windscreens and stuff, they're just doing a shit job. Putting lipstick on a pig is never going to solve the problem. It needs everything. All rust needs removing and treating when it's new, and then painting pretty decently. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully you'll like part 2 when that comes out of this stage. Doing a little series. If you've not seen the last one, have a look. So it shows how we got it back from Scotland, and a little bit of history about this van if you don't know already. And then we'll look at the next stage when I get back from Morocco in a couple of weeks, and crack on finishing the painting side of things. Oh, and subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, all that kind of stuff. You know the drill. Take care. Cheers.